Hey everyone, sorry, we forgot. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh man, I hope we didn't lose too many people. I forgot that Sherry was the host, so when she left, she kicked us all off. But let me make you the presenter. Shame, there's about half people that need to come back in again. But Kenneth, I'm going to make you host. So long. When you leave, do not kick everyone off.
I will do that. Because I thought maybe it is because of my PC, because today it is acting up. So when I got kicked out.
No problem. Well, hopefully it works now.
Yes, I think I managed to fix the problem. I'm not so sure if it's acting like this because of the cold weather, but yes, now it seems to be fixed.
Cool, Kenneth.
Okay,
You host, so take it away. Kenneth's going to share. Kenneth is an amazing computer scientist he graduated at WITS, and he does a ton of web development and very exciting work with us. He knows a whole bunch of programming languages, so I think you're focusing on C# for today. So kick it off, Kenneth.
Okay, hi everyone. I think we should just wait for 2 minutes just to make sure that everyone has joined the meeting. I think by what time is it now? It is 17:39. I think by 17:42 everyone should have joined the meeting again, I hope. So in the meanwhile, we could just have a chit chat. You guys can ask me any questions that you want to ask me while we are waiting for everyone. There is one big favor which I'm going to ask from you guys. I need you guys to be more engaging. So if we can speak to each other, that would be very lovely. Or if you are afraid or you're a bit shy, you can just talk to me on the chat box. I'm not so sure if we can all access the chat box. Can you all access the chat box? Let me know on the chat box if you have managed to do that. Okay, I see hi, okay. Oh, that was from Joe, okay. Yes, I can. So if you're a bit shy, I'll be asking you guys a few questions and hoping that you guys can ask me a few questions also. So for today, let me just check what time is it, still 17:41. So for today, we're going to create a simple application. I think you guys are going to have fun with it. We're going to create a simple application. I think in a few seconds we'll be starting. Okay, I can see that almost everyone is able to access their chat box. So again, if you're a bit shy, you can talk to me on the chat box, but I will appreciate it if you can talk to each other verbally. So I think we can start our what we have planned for. So let me just share my screen with you guys. So for today, as I said, we're going to be creating an application which will actually check if the given year is a leap year or not a leap year. So let me just share my slides with you. Here we are. Just let me know if you are able to see my slides.
Yes.
Please let me know if you're able to see my slides. Yes, there we are. Yes, there we are. So again, my name is Kenneth. So for today, we're just going to create a leap year application. So pretty much we want to create an application which will be able to tell a person if the given year is a leap year or not a leap year. My first question to everyone, what is a leap year? Whenever we're talking about a leap year, what comes to your mind actually? Let me know, please, on the chat box.
I'm not sure if I'm correct, but a leap year usually has February with an additional day and has usually a day, the number of the day. Let's say the 15th of June is on a Wednesday. Usually the next year it skips 2 days and it's usually on a Friday. So
yes, whenever we're talking about a leap year, we're talking about a year where we actually have an extra day. So normally a year is supposed to have 365 days. And when we have an extra day, which it's always on the month of February. So normally the month of Feb, it ends on the 28th. So in a leap year, the month of Feb will actually end on the 29th. Is that clear to everyone? What is a leap year? Let me know in the chat box, please. So a leap year always takes place every 4 years. It will always take place every 4 years. For example, last year was a leap year, which was 2020. So my question to you, which year do you think we're going to have our next leap year? If it takes place every 4 years. And last year was our leap year. Which year do you think we're going to have our next leap year? Yes, 2024. Yes, 2024. Thank you so much. So now, pretty much we spoke about the definition of a leap year. So let me just move my slides so that you guys can also see it on my slides. So as we have explained, whenever we're talking about a leap year, we're talking about a year which has an extra day, which is always the 29th of February. And it is always added after 4 years. Okay, so now now we understand what is a leap year. We need to talk about how can we mathematically check if a given year is a leap year, right? How can we mathematically check if the given year is a leap year? So it is quite easy. So I'm just trying to move this to the side so I can see my entire screen. Okay, let me just hide myself. Okay, so whenever we divide the given year by 4 and our remainder is 0, it is a leap year. Or whenever we divide the year by 400 and our remainder is still 0, then we have a leap year. So mathematically, so we can check if a given year is a leap year when we divide that year with 4 and the remainder should be 0. Or we can also divide that year with the 400 and also the remainder, it needs to be 0. Is that clear to everyone how we actually check the leap year mathematically? So let me just access my chat box.
Yes, yes.
Let me access my chat box. Okay, I can see yes. Can we all try to confirm if that is clear? Because it is very important that you understand how to check if the given year is a leap year, mathematically so. So let me just see, everyone saying yes, it is clear. Okay, so for example, let me give you guys a task. May you divide the year 2020 with 4 and tell me if the answer you're going to get has a remainder or not a remainder. Let me know. Let's divide the year 2020 with 4. What answer do you get? It is 505, okay. It is 505, okay. So let me ask you a question. So what if I were to say that on my side, I got an answer of 506,24, which I'm typing it on the chat box. So does this value, the 506.24, does it have a remainder on or it does not have a remainder? Looking at that value, does it have a remainder or it does not have a remainder? The 506.24. Does it have a remainder or it does not have a remainder?
it does have a remainder.
Which is?
04.04.
Yes, yes. Thank you so much. So now I think we all understand what is a remainder whenever we divide a year. So now let me just take you through the programming lines which which we are going to use to actually create our application. I'm just going to assume that a lot of you guys have never done C#. So what I have done is I've put all the lines which we are going to use, and I've also tried to explain them in a simple manner. So I'm not so sure, can you just let me know, what do you see on your screen? What do you actually see on your screen? Let me know.
We see C# programming lines with explanations.
Perfect. So thank you so much. Let us go through the lines which we are going to use to actually create the application which we spoke about. Okay, so whenever we use this line here, console.writeLine, we actually use this line to print or to give an output. Is that clear? Can we have our fingers on the keyboard? Because I'm just going to ask you with every line if it is clear, so that we can type quickly and we don't waste a lot of time. Is it clear which line do we use to actually give an output or print? Is the console.writeLine. Then whenever we want to take an integer or an integer input, we're going to use this line here, the convert.toInt32 console.readLine. We're going to use that line whenever we want to take an input of an integer, only an input of an integer. Is that clear to everyone? That we're going to use this line whenever we want to take an input of an integer. Okay, and then also whenever we want to create a storage for an integer, we're going to use this line here, the int here, which is pretty much a variable with a data type, but let me not go to the tricky side because I might confuse you. We don't have a lot of time. So just know that whenever you see this line here, the int here, it simply shows a storage of an integer. Okay, is that clear to everyone? Let me know. Okay, very clear. So and then whenever we use the line of if, we actually call it an if block. We actually use this to check a condition. So we need to check, so whenever we want to check if a condition is true, or whenever we want to make a decision in programming, we're going to use an if block, and an if block will always have the keyword if. Then inside of it, we have the brown bracket. This is where we're going to put our condition. And then we also have the curly braces here. This is where we're going to put our line of code if the condition is true, or the line of code which is going to be executed when the condition is true. So we call it an if block. It is used to check if the condition is true, or it is used to make a decision. This is pretty much confusing for a lot of people. Just let me know if you manage to understand it. If you haven't managed to, I will explain it again to you. Let me know if you manage to understand what's the purpose of the if condition with the brown bracket and the curly braces. Let's have our fingers on the keyboard, please. Let me know if you understand the purpose of the if block. Okay. You understand. And then also we have what we call the else block here. We have what we call the else block. It is used to execute lines of code when the condition of the if block is false. I'll go through it again. The else block here, it is used to execute lines of code when the condition of the if block is false. So is that clear to everyone? Is that clear to everyone? Okay, and then now we're going to talk about the symbols. So whenever we have an exclamation mark with an equals, it means not equals to. It simply means not equals to. So whenever we have the exclamation mark with the equal sign, it simply means not equals to. And when we have an equal sign, one equal sign, it simply means that we are assigning, which I will explain as we are creating our application, it simply means that we are assigning. And when we have two equal signs, it means equals to. Two equal signs means equals to. And then, Joe, can you assist me? I don't know what's the name of this symbols here, the one for and.
I think it's an ampersand.
Yes. So whenever you see this symbols here, they simply means and. In programming, they simply means and. And also, whenever you see this two lines here, they simply mean or. They simply mean or. Is everything clear to everyone still? Are we still on the same page, guys?
I think it's good. I think let's go to the example, Kenneth, so that we can see how it works.
Okay, so let's just do that. Let me just share my other screen. Let me just share my other screen with you guys. So just give me a minute. So we're going to use an online compiler. So if you go to Google and you simply type C# online compiler, you will see this, and we're going to use this one here. So let's just click on it so that we can be able to use it. So now we want to create an application which will simply tell if the given year is a leap year or not. So the first thing which we need to do is to ask a user to actually enter the year. And whenever we want to print or give output, we use the line of console.writeLine. Inside of the brown bracket, we put what we want to print. Please enter the year. If you're lost, let me know. So with every line in programming or in C#, we need to have a semicolon, which is like a full stop. Okay, then now we have asked a user to enter the year. So now we need to create a variable, which is a storage, which is going to save the value that the user is going to put. So we simply said we're going to say int year. Then we put a semicolon also to put a full stop. So now we have asked a user, we have created a storage. So now we need to take in the value from the keyboard. So we're going to say year must be assigned to, meaning that whatever value we are taking from the keyboard, we're going to assign it to year. And we said to take an integer value, we're going to say convert to int 32 with the round bracket inside. We simply say console.readline. And we also put our semicolon, a full stop again. So now we actually have the year which the user has entered. So now we need to check, is it a leap year or not a leap year? And we said that we're going to use the if block. So the if block, we're going to say if with the round bracket and the curly braces. Inside of the round bracket, we're going to put our condition, which is going to be that whenever we divide year, the modulus of year by 4. So the sign here, it is a modulus. It will give you a remainder whenever you divide. So we say that whenever we divide the given year by 4, we need our remainder to be 0. We spoke about that. Or whenever we divide year, we need whenever we divide here with 400, we need our remainder to be equals to 0, which we simply do that. So now if the condition is true, we need to execute lines of code which are inside of the curly braces. We're going to come here and we're going to say 2020, let's just say the person has entered 2020. We're going to say 2020 is a leap year. So we're going to say console console.writeLine. And now we need to call the year first, which we're going to call our variable year. And now we need to create a sentence, right? So we're going to say that we're going to use a plus. The plus, it is more like it will combine the variable year with whatever we want to combine it with. For example, the year plus.
So if I give you a year of 2050, it will say year being equals 2050 is a leap year. So it's going to combine those two statements.
Yes. And then we said that we also have the else block, which is actually used when the condition of the if block is false. So let's say that the year is not a leap year. So we need to tell a user again. So hence we're going to use our else block, else with the curly braces inside. I don't like to type a lot, so hence I'm copy pasting. I'll just modify console.writeLine. Then we say that the year is not there. We have modified it. The year is not a leap year. So now if we click run here, so now we have finished our application. If we click run here, it will ask us to enter. Please enter the year. Can we all see here?
Yes.
I'm trying to talk fast as much as I can. So I apologize.
Yeah, we're running over time. Thanks, Kenneth.
Please enter the year. So if we say 2020, can you see here it says 2020 is a leap year. So now let's just do another try. Let's say 2021. You see here it says 2021 is not a leap year. Let's just do our final test. Do not save. Don't know why I click on save. Let's click on run. Let's check with 2024 actually, which we say that it's going to be a leap year. 2024 is a leap year.
What about the year 3041? We're thinking of future.
Let's go to the future. 5051. Let's check. Oh yes. 5051 is not a leap year, which we'll have to confirm if the results are true, actually.
I'm sure it's true. It's a program, right?
Yes, it is.
Kenneth, I'm not sure if the learners, do you guys have any questions? I have a, wait, go back. Don't unshare.
Okay, let me just share my screen
I have a
again.
question on the read line. I think it was line 8. No, go to the IDE.
Okay, let me just share my Chrome and
there we go.
The IDE. Okay, what am I doing now? Here we are. Yes.
You're making me dizzy. Yeah, no, it was code line 11. The one that says year equals convert to int 32. That int 32. What is the, just talk us through that line again? Does anyone else? Are you guys all 100% clear on this, or is it also you want some clarity on that line?
Let me access the chat box.
Thanks, Spoo. Spoo, you shouldn't be here. You're an expert. Any other line of code? If you look there on the left of the screen, you'll see all the coding lines 5, 6, 7 down to 23. Is there any other line in there you want us to, Kenneth, to explain a little bit more? No, everyone's 100%.
Yes, I think everyone is 100%.
You guys are pros. Okay, so just talk me through that line 11 a little bit.
Okay, so I will do that. So let me just share my digital board actually, so I can explain why it is like that. Just a minute, a sec. There we are. There we are. So whenever we need to take an input from the keyboard, we actually use this line here. Let me just type it. Console.read line. whenever we want to take an input. But whenever we use this line here, it will take an input of a string. A string is a text. So it won't be able to take an input of an integer or a decimal number, but it will only take an input of a string, which is simply a text. So text is called a string in C#. Won't dive into that since we don't have a lot of time. So let me just go through this. So let me just type the entire line so that I am explaining something that you guys are able to see on your side also. Lines, then we said that, then console.readline. Here we are. This is the line which I need to explain. So now I've just explained this part here. I just explained this part here. So this is what will actually take the input, but in a string. So now we want our input to be an integer. So we need to change the data type from a text to an integer. Hence, we use this line here, the convert. But now we need to tell the compiler that we are actually changing it to an integer. Hence, we have the dot to int. Okay. Then now let me explain the 32. So whenever we are dealing with integers, we have integers which have up to 0, from 0 to 7 digits. Then we have integers from 8 to 16 digits. And we have integers which have more than 16 digits, So whenever we are changing the text into an integer, we need to also tell the compiler that, okay, we are changing this text into an integer of how many digits. Okay. So whenever we say to int, let me just put it here. Whenever we say to int 16, to int 16, it simply means that we are changing it to an integer with 0 to 7 digits. And when we say to int 32, it means that we are between 8 to 16. And when we say to int 64, then we are changing it to an integer with more than 16 digits. I hope that makes sense to everyone.
Excellent. That makes sense to me. I hope it makes sense to everyone else. Guys, do you guys have any questions for Kenneth? It was just a little like flavor of some of the things that you can do in C#. Not meant to be you are now an expert in any way, shape, or form. Do you guys have any questions for Kenneth? Kenneth is. Can you guys hear me? I think I've frozen. Can you hear me? Has anyone got questions for Kenneth?
Yes, yes, we can hear you. No, okay. So
no questions. Well,
I think I just have one question for everyone. If we were to create events like this where we create these small apps, will you guys actually join? Because I think I kind of enjoyed this, even though my time was so limited.
It is hard. Kumanani, you've got a question. Let's hear from you. Oh, I think Kumanani, you responding to Kenneth's question. You're saying you would come to that. I mean, Kenneth, you actually stole my question. I wanted to ask you guys. I wanted to ask you something a little bit broader as well. You know, this is something new that we're trying. We want to do this event on a monthly basis. I feel very passionate about having future jobs, a segment on future jobs, because I think, you know, none of us know enough about, I'm sure all of us learned something from Sherry, and but I wanted to ask from you guys, did you like that? Would you like to have more sessions around the future of jobs? Yeah, let me see a show of hands. Do you want to have more things about future jobs? Yes, ma'am. Okay, so everyone's saying yes. You can say no. I'm not like tied to it or sensitive about it or anything like that. And then would you guys prefer to have a session where we spend more time with one person? Like for instance, we just had Sherry for the whole hour and we could go into more depth on things. And then the next session we could have with Kenneth and go into more depth, because both of them bitched and moaned at me because I gave them so little time. So what would you guys prefer? Was my question not clear? I'd like this extension where maybe the sessions were longer. So Natia, are you saying you'd like it longer than an hour, or you would prefer to have one session for one person or one topic, let's put it, because I've put 2 topics in here and I feel like we rushed it a bit. Robin saying you'd prefer different sessions for different people. So that means 2 separate sessions, essentially. And Bhavesh is wanting longer than an hour. So how long do you guys want? Like an hour and a half? Yeah. Anyone else wants an hour and a half? 2 hours feels like it might be too long in an evening, right? I mean, that just feels like it might scare you off.
Ma'am, maybe 1 hour and a half will be fine, because today everything was squashed into an hour and I don't think everything went out properly and everything was delivered the way it was supposed to be.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
No, Kenneth rushed and Sherry also, I made her rush. So you're right. I felt like it. But how would you guys advise, since there's only a few of you left, how would you advise us doing it in a way that that you feel more comfortable asking questions and things? There is a possibility that we can actually break you out into small groups on Zoom. So you go and you meet with like 4 or 5 people separately. Would you like to do that? Or yeah, give me advice. No advice from anyone. Okay. No insights, no ideas. Would you prefer that we don't have any chance for questions and you just have someone talking to you? Is that more what you'd like? Anyone? I want to hear from you. Thank you for Ignatius. Who said that? What was the last thing that you said? Okay. Some students' questions and hearing the answers. Okay, that's a great idea. So your suggestion is to have a student come on. Is that what you're saying, Unati? You'd like to have someone come online and talk through what their experience has been on the platform?
Ma'am, yeah, I think that would be a great idea. But what I've tapped out there is actually saying that there were a lot of questions. I'm sure a lot of students that I was with today on the webinar have a lot of questions, and I'd be interested in hearing the answers from those questions, than having all of us broken into different groups and each one seeing a different person at a different time.
Okay, so you're saying you don't want to break into separate groups because you want to see all the questions?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's just, I mean, Kenneth, you can attest to, you run a lot of these webinars. It's hard to get you guys to talk more, and I don't know the answer, what the right approach is. Maybe we should be using like a mirror board. Spoo, are you still online? You use Miro, hey? Spoo, is that you online? Anyway, maybe we should think of ways to get you guys to engage more, where we can all, like Renati's saying, where you can see the different questions that are coming, and then we can do a better job of answering all of them. I feel bad when you guys are so quiet. I'm not sure if it's because this is boring and you're, you know, actually you've gone to the bathroom and we don't even know that, or whether okay, Spoo, no problem. Or whether you're actually engaged. So just before we hang up, because it's way over time, but I took liberties because I wanted to hear from you guys. Would you like to do more of these sessions? Was this valuable to you? Give me a sense of your, and you don't have to say yes, as I said. Would you like to do more? Bhavesh says yes. Anyone else? Okay, so I'm speaking to the converted, but fabulous. So we'll definitely keep you guys in the loop. And if anyone has got ideas to send how we could make this webinar more, I mean, see us as your resource. Like, how can we make this webinar as valuable for you as possible? Because we're going to put it in the diary, 1.5 hours every month. And so, like, let's do it in the way that's going to be the most exciting for you. So you've got my email, you can send it to the WhatsApp line, whatever channel you want, you can send it. But I'd love to get your feedback individually. But thanks, guys. It was lovely having you this evening. And how many of us would, what was your question, Kenneth? To send the code. No, we'll send all the presentations and everything. I'm going to send it around afterwards. So definitely the code we will want as well. Excellent, everyone. Have a lovely evening. I'm hungry, so go and eat, everyone. Bye-bye. Thanks, Spoo. Bye. Spoo, I'm going to give you a call now because I haven't chatted to you in too long and I've missed you, man. Okay, bye.